It's truly ama-
I'll be outside. Oh, okay, Joe.
truly amazing how the universe is blessing us this week because what we have going on is two Cancerian events. And a couple of weeks from now, there will be two more Cancerian events going on. So let's break the astrology of the week of June 8th through 14th down into bite-sized, manageable, digestible pieces so that you can understand a holistic overview of what is going on this week. So we start the week on June 8th with Mercury, the planet of communication, reception of information, messaging, networking, collaboration, conjunct Jupiter, the planet of the higher mind, expansion, philosophy, growth. So when Mercury is conjunct Jupiter, and keep in mind that Mercury and Jupiter are at the very, very last degree of Cancer on June 8th. And I'm filming this on June 9th, so this aspect of it has already occurred. But so the energy is still around and prevalent. So Mercury conjunct Jupiter, what this means is that this can bring optimism to the table. This can bring wonderful things happening, wonderful events lining up, wonderful game systems in the making of what could be produced in those factories. And so good news could also be coming up. Good events, wonderful, um, stable fractures of what could be manageable. And so we're being faced with this, we're being tested with this now, but in the best kind of ways. Our mindset and our thinking is more positive, more uplifting, more joy-filled. This is good energy for business dealings, looking at the details or the fine print. This is good for all those kind of things because Mercury is the lord of details because it rules Virgo. Gemini is also very detail oriented also. This is good for if you're getting involved with a business dealing at this time, you want to look at the nitty-gritty, you want to look at the details because you may overlook something in the quest to see things from such a big picture perspective that you may neglect the smaller details. And so it's very important to balance these two things out very well. Do not forget about the small details. Do not underestimate the importance of paying attention to the details. This brings a sense of optimism, as I said before, a sense of positive outlook for the future. So it's a good idea to future pace and plan for your future, but also to have fun, to enjoy this energy, to celebrate, to do recreational entertainment activities. This energy is wonderful for expanding your thinking in philosophical or spiritual knowledge. So expanding your mind, growing philosophically, growing spiritually, reading spiritual books, studying religions. These types of things can really bode well for you at this time. And so you may find that you have an interest in new people, an interest in new cultures, new ways of living, new languages. And so this very, very strong interest could really um, have you being very open-minded towards those kind of things. And so we're talking about advanced education and critical thinking. Those are themes with this as well. Embrace larger goals for yourself that are goals that are meant for the long term. Make sure that your goals are sustainable, that you build those foundations and that building has a very, very strong foundation that if something were to hit it, it wouldn't fall away. This can bring about uplifting and encouraging communication. Abundance and career advancement could be possible themes with this. This is also good for networking, good for collaborating, meeting with people, having conversations. And if you have a lot of ideas, like if you have a lot of starlight, stabat matter ideas that you want to keep in mind at this time, what you want to do is you want to jot those things down, either on the computer or in your journal, because you have a lot of creative ideas and visions rolling through your head at this time that you may need to write those down, manifest those, keep those in a keepsake journal, whatever you need to do. You may find that your mind is very expansive, your mind is very open, and you may feel more generous than usual, wanting to give more. But it's important with this energy not to overpromise, not to make these grandiose statements of all the things that you're going to do, and then you can't actually physically achieve it. So you do want to keep in mind that factor and that caveat with this. So this is good for work and play. This is wonderful for all those kind of things like that when it comes to recreation and trabajar, which is the Spanish word for work. On the same day, Mercury, the planet of communication, after it gets done with its conjunction with Jupiter, it then moves into Cancer, it then drops into the watery realms of Cancer, and this is wonderful energy for spiritual practices. I know of somebody who has this placement, and her channel is all about oracle decks and tarot decks. And so it's a good placement for her because Cancer is very emotional, very intuitive. So it's wonderful for what this person does. Um, and so talking about the energy of Mercury and Cancer, we have to keep in mind that our thoughts and our emotions are sort of smushed together, like they're muddy together, they're put together, they're meshed together. And so our thoughts are very heavily influenced by our emotions. We also have a very, very strong memory, an emotional memory of the past. Like we can really remember because something about water is it holds memory. So our memory of the past may be very, very strong, and it's a good time to recount, sit in lawn chairs, contemplate the past, um, do all those kind of things when it comes to, nostalgia, reflecting back to the events of what happened. It's important to recognize how our thoughts and emotions impact one another. This is the bridge, the link between thinking and feeling. Understanding your inner world at a deeper level. Really, really get in touch with that. You may find that you're understanding and verbalizing your feelings more equally, or you want to verbalize your feelings. Understand how your past roots and how they are influencing your thinking and communication. So how are the events that occurred in your past affecting your thinking and communication now? You want to access a deeper sense of empathy. We need to work on not taking things so personally during this transit because Cancer is very sensitive. The feelings get hurt very easily. It takes what people say very personally. So we need to keep in mind that we're seeing it for what it is, that we are drawing the boundary, that we're not taking it personally. This represents a conjunction of the heart and mind. Our thoughts are heavily influenced by our emotions, as I said before. This is about going inward and connecting with others on a deep level. There is a heightening of your receptivity and inner knowing at this time. Engage in emotionally driven experiences. We are more introspective during this transit. We're more vulnerable. And we want more heartfelt, soulful, nurturing conversations with others, nurturing communications. That's what we're all about. And so nostalgia is a really, really big thing with this. We wear our hearts on our sleeve at this time, and this is also good for connecting with family, having conversations, especially with family. And the thing about Mercury and Cancer is it's also very intuitive, so we can get in touch with our intuition more prevalently at this time, where we're allowing our feelings and our intuition to guide us. Now, we have a lot going on the next day on June 9th. So, the very first thing going on that I want to talk about is we have Mercury in Cancer squaring Saturn at very, very early degrees of Aries. So what this means is that this transit is, you can really use this productively because it's good for being productive, being efficient, getting to that hard work that requires your mind to be in a certain way. Noting the details of things is good for very detailed types of endeavors. But at the low level, because this is a square, it does bring up negative sides of Saturn and Mercury coming together. So this could be about you where you're seeing the glass half empty, where you're being very pessimistic. You're also not understanding details clearly. You're not fully interpreting those very precisely and accurately, or you could be misinformed or deceived and act on information that is not actually true. So you do want to keep in mind that factor. Take your time when it comes to making important decisions and negotiations because um, you may overlook details of things. You may neglect. You may game it. You may wall it. You may box it in a type of way where it actually wasn't what you thought that it was. So that's something important to keep in mind. Your thoughts could be more gloomy. You could feel more lonely, more isolated, more negative, more cynical. And so plan for the responsibilities that you have taken on. Have those responsibilities and plan to take them on in manageable steps, one thing after the other, one foot in front of the other. Gain experience through experiencing constraints and challenges in your life. Because when you experience these challenges, you have the opportunity to rise above the challenge, to grow from the challenge. It's basically the universe giving you a test in a loving kind of way, which gives you a challenge to really test to make sure that you really feel that you're worthy of having this thing or that you're worthy of wanting to go after that thing. And so patience and focus to endure difficulties. You may find that you have more of these types of qualities when it comes to achieving challenges. Mount obstacles that take away farther from you um, and your goals. So you really, really want to get over those challenges and reach your goals. So the next thing is the really, really big event going on, and that is Jupiter entering Cancer. This is a very, very wonderful place to be. It is Jupiter is considered exalted in Cancer. So many astrologers have been looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to it. We're going to have this for a year. Jupiter is going to go retrograde for a period of time, and then it moves into Leo on June 30th next year. But with Jupiter in Cancer, this gives a very lucky and abundant year unfolding. You're experiencing a lot of growth. You're experiencing a lot of blessings where miracles can and do happen, where everything is possible. This is good to strengthen your manifestations at this time. Now, the retrograde period of Jupiter in Cancer will be from November 11th to March 10th of next year. So you do want to keep that in mind. So this is very emotional, very deep. The message of Jupiter moving through Cancer that we're going to be working on, that we're going to be expanding into, is the more that we feel at home within ourselves, the more we nurture ourselves physically, mentally, creating a safe sanctuary inside of ourselves, the more we take care of ourselves and our needs, emotional needs, then we will grow and we will experience the blessings that Jupiter has to offer. This may bring up powerful healing, ancestral blessings that could be very, very prevalent. Again, connecting back to our ancestors, reflecting back on the past, healing in a kind of very introspective kind of way. So when we do those things where we meditate, where we take a walk, where we eat healthy, where we do those things, we're taking care of our body, we're taking care of our mind, we're taking care of our emotions. So the big question to ask yourself is, do you feel at home inside of yourself? That's the huge big question to consider during this whole year of Jupiter and Cancer that we're being invited to lean into now. This may bring up breakthroughs rooted in emotional truth. So expanding your emotional capacity, finding your emotional truth to what it actually is. So discovering new emotional truths. Emotional security, sacred homes, and reconnection to roots are what this transit really encapsulates. This is great for to initiate a spiritual practice, pulling divination cards, meditating, breath work, qigong. All those kind of things are wonderful for this particular period of time. So self-care is a really, really big invitation for you at this time. You want to put yourself into a position which gives off meaningful and heart-centered work, where the work is where you're really putting your heart into that kind of work, where you're investing your heart into whatever you're doing. Home and family, as well as mental health, become issues of focus at this time. This time also invites you to connect in a soul-based way, have soul-stirring connections with another person, have deep emotional connections with another. That's the other invitation of this time. The next aspect that we have going on June 9th is that Mercury is going to square Neptune. So this makes the energy very confusing, very nebulous. This distorts thinking. This is where you're driving in the fog, where you're disoriented, where you're not clear on where you're going. That's how you can really feel at this particular time. So the discussions that you have may be very, very confusing. Business dealings could be confusing. Stick to communication basics now. Now, on the upside, this energy is wonderful to use it well for anything right brain, music, dance, sculpting, painting, poetry, creative writing. That's how you can really maximize this energy. So you may be confused about the path ahead, and your choices may be influenced by wishful thinking instead of objectivity. So you want to make sure that you're seeing things very rationally, very pragmatically, very objectively, rising above your emotions to view things from an objective point of view and gain as much clarity as you can during this time. But the clarity may come after this transit passes. Do your best though. There may be miscommunications in relationships, and it may be hard to discern what is rational and what is not rational. Then Venus squares Pluto. So Venus, which is our planet of love and value and beauty and attracting energy to it like a flower, it deals with fun things in life. It's very recreational energy. And Pluto, which is death, power, transformation, taxes, debit funds. It can be very, very much in the maker shiftings of um, being very deep in its energy. So, this puts a profound effect on your love life. So it's very, very huge and powerful. This places a lot of power and control issues to the surface. This brings these things to the surface, these power and control issues, um, coming about at this time. And so, this may bring about, jealousy or possessiveness. Those two things may come about. Threats and ultimatums may also come about at this time. Um, so abusive and violent attachments may be another thing with this. There may be added sexual charge to your romantic life. Don't emotionally manipulate others at this time. And don't confuse control and jealousy with real love. And you may feel not loved, unloved, or not valued for who you are. Those aspects can come back now. 2 days later, on the 11th of June, Mercury sextiles Venus. So when these two are in a very harmonious sextile to each other, this creates a very fun-loving and friendly kind of energy. So this is great for relaxation, unwinding, putting your feet up after a long day, indulging in pleasure, those kind of things like that. Um, there may be less stress and more harmony in your relationships, which should make communication and socialization easier for you. This is good for finding win-win solutions with problems, networking, collaborating, compromising, finding the happy medium between the two sides, and finding that win-win solution, finding that sweet spot where you and the other person can meet in the middle. You bring optimism and compassion to your social circle. This is really, really wonderful for you at this time. This is about expressing your love to others in creative ways, either through a poem or a song, however you define that. Communicate your ideas and feelings through the written or spoken word, writing them out, speaking them very, very huge at this time. There may be a high sense of intelligence that you may possess as well. The next aspect going on is on June 13th. The sun will square the North Node at 20, I believe, 23 degrees of Pisces. So the sun is at 23 degrees of Gemini, the North Node is at 23 degrees of Pisces. And the South Node is at 23 degrees of Virgo. So there's this T-square of the nodes to the sun. So you may be feeling very confident and comfortable on your path, on the direction that you're going in. Give in and make the changes that you need to make. If there is this energy where you need to make a change, but you're resisting it, you're putting it off, you're denying it, you're repressing it, this is the time where that comes up for you to actually take the action steps to make the change. Make the best of your present situation. Not everything is in your control, and if it's not in your control, make the best of the situation for what it is. This is a time when individuals face challenges related to their life purpose. Do your goals align with your deeper life mission? This square creates this kind of tension. So, your soul calling in life, do your goals that you set align with your true authenticity? Do they feel authentic to you? Do they resonate with you? So do the things that resonate with you. This brings also about a conflict between your personal desires and your fate, what is destined, what is fated events in your life. Are your aspirations authentic to who you are and what you truly want? Meditate on that question at this time. When June 14th hits, we have Venus opposite Black Moon Lilith. So Black Moon Lilith is very dark, very secretive, very wild, very real, and very raw. So Venus opposing Lilith could make a wonderful time for shadow work, wonderful time to work past unresolved wounds, particularly around values and relationship, which are Venus ruled matters. So it brings power and passion into your relationships. This is about expressing your sexuality and pushing boundaries. You may have a strong desire for freedom at this time, and our conflicts dealing with your desires, relationships, and personal values could come up at this time. Independence and self-expression may be big issues of focus now. Face and integrate your shadows. Feel emotions more intensely. And balance living out one's true nature with harmonious connections with others. So, are you being authentic, but also are your connections harmonious? Are they fluid? Are they positive? Are they going well? So that is important to balance at this time. All right, that is the astrology for the week of June 8th. I will see you back here for in the next video. I'm going to be talking about the midheaven in the zodiac sign of Aries. So tune in for that video coming up in a couple of days. And I will see you in the next video. Like this video, subscribe, do all the things. I really appreciate it. Bye for now.